Yes. So the next thing we are going to talk about is the power of lens. Is the power of lens. Now, basically, we know lenses can be converging or diverging. Basically, if rays are coming, they focus them at a point. So this is called converging mirror lens, sorry, and this is called a diverging lens. How does it work? If the rays are coming like this, they are converged at a point which is their focus, and this distance is called focal length. Similarly, if rays are coming like this, they are diverged and they appear to be coming from a point which is called its focus, and this distance is called focal length. So how do you compare the strength of a lens? How good is a lens? It will depend on the power of a lens. If I ask you one example, like I have two lenses, suppose this is lens 1, this is lens 2. Okay. Let me say on both the lenses, rays are falling. So both will converge the rays. But the first one converged it like this, while the second one converged it like this. So can you tell me, this is lens 1, this is lens 2, which lens is more powerful? Which lens has more power to converge the incident rays? Clearly we can see that lens 1 converges the rays very close to itself. So power of this lens should be more. So this basically depends on the focal length. As you can clearly see, this will be focal length of second lens and this will be the focal length of first lens. Okay. So I can simply say, how do you define the power? Power of a lens, power of a lens has been simply defined as the reciprocal of focal length. The only thing you have to remember, you should put the focal length in meter. Okay, you cannot put it in centimeter. When you put the focal length in meter, the power that you get is in diopter. Okay. So suppose if I take one example, let me say I have a lens and focal length of that lens is, let's say, 10 centimeter. So what is the power? So I will write the formula. Power is 1 by f. It is 1 by focal length should be the value. The value of focal length should be in meter. So 10 centimeter is equal to 0.1 meter. So I will put 0.1 here. And the answer I will get is 10 diopter. Or if I am using the symbol, I can use capital D. Is that clear to everyone? Very simple topic. Is that clear? Now, can power be negative? I am asking you a question. Can power be negative? Can power be negative? Yes, absolutely. Power can be negative because focal length can be negative. So can you tell me for which lens power is negative, converging or diverging? For which lens power is negative, converging or diverging? Very good. It is for diverging lens. Diverging lens. क्या बात है, बहुत बढ़िया. So have you ever, how many people have glasses? Let me ask. If you have glasses, please mark yes. If you have glasses, mark yes. Mark yes if you have glasses, everyone. Some people are not marking, they don't have glasses. I'm asking, do you have glasses? Do you have power in your eyes? Okay, so let's see the result. 50-50. Awesome. So 50% of the class is like me and 50% of the class is not like me. Okay. So this is coincidence. It's a big coincidence that half of the class has glasses and half of the class does not have glasses. But I'm sure those who do not even have glasses, they would have seen how eyes are tested. अगर आपके क्लासेस नहीं भी हैं, but I'm sure आपने देखा होगा how eyes are tested. That I'm sure about. So you see that he puts kind of a metallic frame on our eyes. Okay. The person who is checking the eyes puts kind of a metallic frame on our eyes and then puts in the glasses. He puts in two glasses and then he rotates them also. Okay. And then he calculates the total power which is necessary to correct our eyes. And then he makes the spectacles of that power. So basically, for thin lenses, combination can be used. Combination can be used. Okay. Combination of thin lenses. So what he is actually doing, suppose my power is minus 3.25. So first he will put the lens of power 3 diopter and then he will put just next to it. It is very, very close. Next to it, he'll try 0.25, okay, 0.5, 0.75, and whichever makes me see most clearly, he'll find out the total power of the lenses. So what I'm trying to say is that if you have two lenses, okay, and they are thin lenses and they are in contact, the lenses are obviously in contact and they are very, very close to each other. Suppose let me take 3 also. Even if I have 3 lenses with focal length f1, focal length f2 and focal length f3, then think about it this way. Suppose power of this lens is P1, power of this lens is P2 and power of this lens is P3. So whenever a ray will come from left, what will lens 1 do? Will it converge it or it will diverge it? Just tell me. पहला लेंस क्या करेगा? Will it converge or will it diverge? It will converge. What will the second lens do? It will converge it more. What will the third lens do? It will converge it more. So basically for a combination of lenses, net power can simply be defined as addition of all the powers. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? Now you have to understand one thing. You have to put power with sign in this formula. मान लो कि if I put one diverging, then that should be taken in negative, na? Because that will not converge, that will diverge. So if I put one diverging in combination with this, then that you should put with sign, with negative sign, so that net power decreases, net converging power decreases. Just put the values 1 by f net, it will become 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2 plus 1 by f3. This is the formula that we use to calculate the effective focal length of lenses in contact. Okay. Any doubts in this? Please repeat, Komal is saying. So Komal, basically to find the net power of lenses in contact, that I've told you, which is common sense also, because they are basically converging or diverging. What is dilation used for? I don't know in what reference are you asking, Anthony. Is it related to this only? Okay. So let me ask you a question then. Suppose I have 3 lenses like this in contact. Okay. So this is my lens 1, this is my lens 2, and this is lens 3. Now the focal length of first lens is given to me as 10 centimeter. The focal length of this lens, third f3, is given to me 20 centimeter. And the focal length of the middle lens is given to me, let's take, क्या लिया जाए, should we take 50 centimeter. Okay. So you have to tell me, find the net power. Find the net power of combination. What will be the net power of combination? Chaliye, I will write the options. I don't think you will need them. It's a very simple question. Okay. So 15 diopter, 17 diopter, 13 diopter, and 10 diopter. Okay, these are the options that you have. Think about it. I'll give you a minute, then we'll vote on it. Okay, mark your answer, everyone. क्या बात है? Okay. Okay, final 5 seconds. Mark your answer. Okay, so 26% of the class is correct. Okay, some people made the mistake. So you have to understand one thing. This is converging. So focal length will be taken positive. So this is 1 by 0.1 meter, which is 10 diopter. This is also converging. So focal length will be taken positive. So P3, I can simply say 1 by 0.2, and this will become 5 diopter. But the center, the lens which is between them is a diverging lens. So its focal length you have to take negative, and the power you will get, okay, power you will get is 1 by 0.5 minus 0.5, which is minus 2 diopter. So if you add all the powers, what you are going to get? 10 diopter plus 5 diopter minus 2 diopter, which is 13 diopter is our answer. Any doubts in this? Please ask. Please ask. Any doubts in this? Always remember, for diverging, power is negative, because for diverging focal length is negative. For converging it is positive. Beta, I have just repeated, Rugved. Power is 1 by focal length. So focal length is given. Just put it in meter and calculate the power. And then formula for net power that I am using is P1 plus P2 plus P3. Okay. This is all we have done, Rugved. सर्वेश, डाइवर्जिंग के लिए पावर नेगेटिव ली जाती है. Rugved, I cannot repeat the whole thing. 30 minutes have passed. I can just tell you power is 1 upon focal length. You have to put focal length in meter. Focal length should be put in sine. If lenses are in contact, the formula for net power is P1 plus P2 plus P3. Here you will put with sine and you will get the answer. F2 minus इसलिए लिया because it is diverging. I will write it down also. I think you people should use earphones also. I think you are only looking at me. For diverging lens, power is taken negative. Okay, and for converging lens, power is taken positive. Yes, sign convention, and net power is always equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3. So I hope Rugved this helps you again. Okay, I think your internet connection was lost. Chaliye. Any doubts in this? So this is a very simple topic. Okay, nothing much in it, purely formula based. Now we will see the most colorful topic of ray optics, which is prism. Now, how many people have seen a prism? कितने लोगों ने prism देखा है? How many people have seen it? Have you performed experiments with it in the lab? Yes, that is great. So basically, when white light is incident on a prism, it breaks into its constituent colors, which are major 7 colors Vibgyor, as you can see here. Okay. They break into their constituent colors. Now, this phenomena is called, can anyone tell me what is this phenomena called? Kalidas had to pay for it. Yes, that is great, Ananya. This is called dispersion of light. So let us first understand what is a prism. A prism is a wedge-shaped body, as you can see in the picture. This is a prism made from refractive medium bounded by two faces inclined to each other. So as you can see, light is entering from this face. Light is coming like this and it is incident on this face. It moves in the medium and then exits the opposite face and finally going like this. Okay, can we see? So there is some angle between these faces clearly. This angle is called angle of prism. Now in 2 dimension, you will draw it like this. Okay, so what they are showing you can be represented like this, that if this is a normal, and your incident rays falling like this, it will go like this and it will break into its constituent colors. So this angle between the two faces, A, is called the angle of prism. Angle of prism. Is that clear? So the two faces are called refractive faces because refraction is happening at these two faces, and the angle between them is called the angle of prism or the refractive angle. So this is the general information about prism. We'll see why it happens, how it happens, but any doubt in the general information like what is a prism? If someone is not even aware what is a prism, this will give you an idea. है कि नहीं? It can be asked in exam, Anirudh. Yes, sir, Yuvraj. Angle of prism is always constant. It depends कैसे बनाया गया है prism. Okay, some prism have a small angle of prism, some have large. It depends on the shape of the prism. Okay. So let us talk about monochromatic light. Monochromatic light. Monochromatic light through a prism. Through a prism. Who can tell me what is a monochromatic light? Who can tell me what is a monochromatic light? Boliye. Yes, Chandrika. I know what you're trying to say. Sarvesh, that is correct. No, not white light. Monochromatic light. Monochromatic light is light with single wavelength. Light with single wavelength, or you can say single color. Single color. Okay, is called monochromatic light. Like if you have light of red color, yellow color, green color, like in white color there are many wavelengths because there are many colors in white light, but monochromatic light has only one color. Is that clear? Monochromatic light has only one color. So let us talk about it. What will happen to it? So suppose you have a prism. This is your angle of prism. Okay. And let me say these are the normals on two faces that I have drawn normals perpendicular to the surface. And light is incident on these surfaces. So this is the angle of incidence. Refraction will take place. So this is first angle of refraction, R1. If I say mu is the refractive index of the prism. Again it is incident here, so we call it R2, and finally the ray will go out, and this is called E. Can you tell me, will dispersion happen for monochromatic light? For monochromatic light, will dispersion happen? No. What will it split into? White light had many wavelengths, so it splits into many wavelengths. White के अंदर तो बहुत सारे कलर थे, so it spreads. But if this is a monochromatic light, it is red color only, then it will remain red only. Are you getting my point? If this is a monochromatic light, no dispersion will take place. What will it break into? No dispersion occurs. Okay. Yes, only white light can break, or any light with more than one color. Any light with more than one color will break. So I here is angle of incidence. Angle of incidence. And E here is called the angle of emergence. Is called the angle of emergence. It is emerging out of it. Okay. Smart girl, please have patience. Don't tell me how to teach. Okay, I know how to teach. I will give examples also, even if you don't say so. Okay. It is called bichromatic Sarvesh if it has two, polychromatic if it has 3, 4, 5. Basically, these are the names that we use, but we only deal with monochromatic or white light. Okay, chaliye. So what is important in it is refraction will take place at two surfaces. How so? Let us see. So suppose this is the prism, I am making it again. Okay, and this is the angle of prism. Now we draw two normals on two faces, and same diagram I am drawing again. Like this. And mu is the refractive index. This is angle of incidence, this is angle of emergence, this is R1 and this is R2. So first thing I want to ask you, is there a relation between A and R1 and R2? Yes. If you think about it clearly, look at the diagram. What will be this angle? This angle will be 90 degree minus R1. Am I correct? Because this whole angle is 90 degree. Similarly, this angle will be 90 degree minus R2. Am I correct? So if you look at the triangle containing the angle of prism, I can say A plus 90 degree minus R1 plus 90 degree minus R2. This should be equal to 180 degree. Why? Because sum of all the angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degree. You will get A minus R1 minus R2 plus 180 degree is equal to 180 degree. And you get A is equal to R1 plus R2. So the addition of two refractive angles inside the prism is equal to the angle of the prism. Now this is an important relation that you have to remember. Please note it down. For any case, R1 plus R2 will be equal to A. R1 plus R2 will be equal to A. Please copy it. I don't know, Ananya, what you are trying to say. Please write the complete sentences at least, people. ठीक है बेटा जो होगा सब आ जाएगा. Don't ask me what is that. This is the relation that you have to remember. Beta, if there is a full derivation, it will come. This is the derivation for relation between A and R1 plus R2. Can you not see the slide? I have written on a blank slide. Okay. So this is one relation that we have to remember. So the next important thing, let me write down. This next important thing is called the deviation of a prism. Deviation in a prism. Deviation in a prism. Like what is the deviation in a prism? Let's talk about it. We are doing one by one. First, what I have done, I have calculated the relation between R1 and R2 and A. That is the only thing I have done. Okay, now let us talk further. Suppose our ray is coming like this. It is incident here and then it emerges out like this. Is the path of ray deviated? Please say yes or no. Is the path of ray deviated or is it same? Is the path of ray deviated or is it same? Who is saying same? Sherdil, how can you say same? It was going like this and now it is going like this. So it is deviated. Obviously it is deviated. How? Mohit, look at the screen. The ray was going like this. And now finally it is going like this. So it is common sense that it is deviated. It is not moving straight. है कि नहीं? So where did the first deviation come in place? अरे बिल्कुल smart girl, don't think like that. I don't take anything personally. I'm just saying have patience. First we will study and then we will take examples. ना पहले पढ़ना तो पड़ेगा example के लिए. On what will I take the example? Okay. Yes, if no deviation takes place, the incident ray and final emergent ray should have been parallel, but they are not. So deviation is occurring. So where is the deviation taking place? See, first deviation, ray was trying to go like this. Am I correct? If there would have been no prism, ray would have been gone like this, but it is going like this. So there is a deviation. I can say delta 1. Am I correct? I think you people cannot see clearly. Let me make a bigger diagram. मैं एक बड़ा डायग्राम बना देता हूं. So deviation in a prism. Yes. Okay. So this is the prism now. This is our A. And this is the incident ray. It went like this. And finally it emerged out like this. So this angle is R1, this angle is R2, this angle is angle of incidence, and this is angle of emergence. We know one thing, one relation we have seen by geometry, R1 plus R2 is A. अब सबको दिख रहा है? Everyone can see now clearly. So first of all, the ray was going like this. If there would have been no prism, अगर prism नहीं होता, then how would the ray have gone? It would have gone like this. Am I correct? But it got bent. It got deviated, can I say? So deviation happened here. That is delta 1. अब देखो, out of the context doubt will come. If a white light enters at 180 degree of incidence, वाह वाह sir, वाह वाह, enters at 180 degree angle of incidence. Beta, angle of incidence cannot be more than 90 degree only. Can you see here? How can angle of incidence be 180 degree? What is the doubt? How can angle of incidence be 180 degree? Are you trying to say if this is the surface, this is the normal, then 180 degree with normal, it means ray is falling like this? अरे नहीं सर, नहीं. अभिज्ञान जी, प्लीज फोकस ऑन व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन. आपके डाउट पूछिए जब मैं आपसे बोलूं कि डाउट पूछिए. Okay, ask your doubts when I tell you to ask the doubts. Otherwise, it will only disrupt my flow and it will ultimately make it not your worthwhile. You will not understand. Okay. Have patience. Patience होना चाहिए. I know you know this. I know you know this, but I have to teach this, na? Not everyone in this class knows this. And we are teaching to 100 students, so I have to keep everything in mind, na? थोड़ी तो दया धर्म रखो दोस्त. Okay, so the ray was going like this. There is a deviation delta 1. Can I say? So what is the deviation? Can you tell me? What is the deviation delta 1? What will be the value of deviation? Like if this angle is I, can I say this whole angle is I? Vertically opposite angle? अरे vertically opposite angle, maths बचपन में पढ़ी थी. What will be delta 1? Delta 1, I can say it will be I minus R1. अरे am I सही बोल रहा हूं कि नहीं? बोलिए. I minus R1. Okay, so one deviation happened. Then Bichari ray was going like this. Bichari ray was going like this, and again deviation happened. Again deviation happened. It was going like this. Achhi khasi now. But then again deviation happened. So can I say this is delta 2? This is delta 2. What will be the value of delta 2? So as you can see, this angle is R2. So can I say this angle is R2? So what is my delta 2? Delta 2 you can say is equal to E minus R2. Arey boliye. Now tell me the direction of deviation. What is the direction of deviation at the first surface? Clockwise or anti-clockwise? What is the direction of deviation at first surface? Very good, Sarvesh. It is clockwise, घड़ी की तरह. So clockwise. And on the second surface, again clockwise. So what is the total deviation? What is the total deviation? Can I say delta net will be delta 1 plus delta 2? Very good, Shirdal. Because they are in same direction. So what will I write? I will write delta total. It is equal to I minus R1 plus E minus R2. Or I can write delta total is equal to I plus E minus R1 plus R2. Arey maths. And what is R1 plus R2? It is A. So delta total we get is I plus E minus A. This is the formula that we remember for deviation through a prism. If you know the angle of incidence, if you know the angle of emergence, you can calculate angle of deviation. कोई दुख कष्ट समस्या हो तो बोलिए. Any doubts in this? Any doubts in this? अरे बोलिए. Now ask your doubts. Now is the time to ask doubts. Yes, derivation is needed, Chandrika. If they ask find the derivation, derive the total deviation for a prism. You will have to remember this for that. Okay. NDS. Oh, I think it means no doubt, sir. Short form. I think so. I'm not sure. Okay. Chalo. I am also a little bit young then. Arey, I am giving example. I was just waiting so you people at least एक फॉर्मूला तो होना चाहिए ना फॉर एग्जाम्पल एटलीस्ट देयर शुड बी वन फॉर्मूला फॉर एग्जाम्पल नाउ आई कैन गिव द एग्जाम्पल okay so let us take one example on this so suppose I have a prism thanks to God and let me say where did it go yes a ray is incident on it let me say yes let's say this angle is 90 degree okay this refractive index is mu 2 and this angle of incidence is also 90 degree so I need to find first of all the first part is find angle of emergence and the second thing is total deviation of ray. See, could I have given example before this? Obviously, I will have to teach the formula first, na? Okay. So how will you find the angle of emergence? Obviously, you will have to apply refraction 2 times. Let me say this angle is R1, outside mu is 1. So apply Snell's law on this surface. Snell's law. What will we get? Snell's law simply says mu1 sin I is equal to mu2 sin R. So mu1 is 1 into angle of incidence is 90 degree is equal to mu2 root 2 and sine of R1. So sine R1 you will get 1 by root 2 and R1 you will get 45 degree. Are any dukh? Any kast? Now can I calculate R2? I have just calculated R1. Can I calculate R2? Yes, we know one other formula. R1 plus R2 is equal to A. Now R1 is 45 degree, R2 I have to calculate and angle of prism is 90 degree. So this gives me that R2 is also 45 degree. Now I have to calculate this angle of emergence E. So I will apply Snell's law on this surface. Apply Snell's law. Again you will say mu1 sin I is mu2 sin R. This time angle of incidence is happening in root 2. So root 2 is our first into sine. R2 is 45 degree and outside mu is 1 into angle of refraction is E. So 1 by root 2 will get cancelled out and sine E you will get 1 or I can say E is 90 degree. So angle of emergence is also 90 degree. Any doubts in this? ये हो गया भाई पहला part. Second part, total angle of deviation. It is purely formula based. Total deviation I can say. Where will I write it? कहाँ लिखूं? Where? No place to write. Okay. We will write in this much space. Yes. Delta total formula is I plus E minus A. I is 90 degree. E I have calculated 90 degree. A is 90 degree. So it is 90 degree. So deviation is 90 degree. Any doubts in this? Boliye. Very, very simple. To calculate E, just apply angle of refraction 2 times. Okay. Nahi smart girl, you have not done that. I swear I don't have any issue. Okay. I know you were excited and you wanted the example at that time, but Somik is asking, you are making the day ray, I think, go upwards while entering the prism. Beta, it will deviate towards the other side. It will deviate towards the other side. Okay. Dharmi, they are not equal. They are not vertically opposite. Refraction is happening, Dharmi. Refraction is happening. This is not maths. This is refraction. So they are not equal. You have to apply Snell's law. Okay. Jyotika is asking, sir, in step 1 you took sine I is 45. What? Beta, sine 90 degree. I is given na 90 degree. Ask your, at least write your doubts properly. Understand one thing. Sir, in second time. Yes, beta, now this is the incidence angle, na? Array, when it is incident on this surface, light is coming like this, so this becomes incident ray now. So angle of incidence is R2. Khushi, for second refraction, angle of incidence is R2. अरे भगवान ने that उसको I1 नाम थोड़ी दे दिया है. At any surface, when a ray falls, okay, it is the angle of incidence. Sir, repeat after Snell's law. No. No repeating. Not going to happen. Okay, ask your doubts, whatever is your doubt. इतना आसान नहीं होता repeat करना. अरे तुम, I cannot repeat. I can give you other example. That is possible. I will never repeat now. और example दे सकते हैं. That is a different thing. If you want more examples, I can give more example, but I am not going to repeat anything. बोलिए. If you are doubt in specific topic, then we can do it. Okay. अरे बोलो भाई. Any doubts? चलिए. Then let us move ahead. आगे बढ़ते हैं. So basically, for angle of deviation, we create a graph. Now we just saw angle of deviation formula. Angle of deviation formula. What was the formula? I will give you one more example on that, but after some time. Okay. Angle of deviation I got, it is I plus E minus A. Now I am going to do something that is only going to irritate you. Look at me carefully. So I take this angle A. This is I1. So this is angle of incidence on this surface. Ray gets bent. This is R1. This is angle of incidence on other surface, but we name it R2. नाम रखते हैं बस. And this is E. I am going to plot a graph of deviation versus I. I only want I here. So let's say this is mu and outside mu is 1. So what do we do on this surface? Komal, you can understand from here what I did. Snell's law. Snell's law when you apply. You can say 1 sine I, it is equal to mu sine R1. Am I correct? So what will be R1? You can say sine R1, it is equal to sine I by mu. Or R1 you can say it is sine inverse 1 by mu into sine I. अरे सही है कि नहीं है? Am I doing it correct or not? Then can you tell me what will be R2? What will be R2? R2 will be A minus R1. This you have to remember because R1 plus R2 is equal to A. I told you already. R1 plus R2 is equal to A. So R2 is A minus R1. So I can say it is A minus R1 is this kachra. So you will say sine inverse 1 by mu sine I. Okay, समझ आया? This big kachra is R2. This big kachra is R2. Again, you will apply Snell's law on this surface. अरे फिर से Snell's law. Now what is the angle of incidence? Can you tell me? Everyone, quickly, what is the angle of incidence for second refraction? अरे यार, बेटा अभिज्ञान, ask your doubts. Feel free to ask your doubts. Don't interrupt me when I'm just writing something. Okay, पूछो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Just tell me what is the angle of incidence for second refraction. अरे क्या है angle of incidence? R2. Only Dharni did it correct. Okay. So mu sine R2. Outside is 1 only. So 1 sine E. Am I correct? So can I say E is equal to sine inverse mu sine R2? अरे समझ आया कि नहीं? If you put the kachra value, you will get sine inverse mu into A minus sine inverse 1 by mu into sine I. होश उड़ गए? What I'm trying to do, just stay with me. Just stay with me. I will tell you what I'm trying to do. So delta I will get I plus, if I put the value of E, this is the value of E. Sine inverse mu A minus sine inverse 1 by mu. हिंदी में लिम्बो. हाँ मुबारक जी, I will limbo in Hindi also. Have patience. सब्र करो. So it is sine inverse mu. What was it? Sine inverse, याद ही नहीं हो पा रहा. Mu A minus sine inverse 1 by mu sine I minus A. This is the formula of deviation in terms of I. Look, there is only one variable I. I have eliminated E. अरे am I correct? तो मुबारक जी, इसको याद नहीं रखना है. ओके, इसको याद नहीं रखना है बेटा, इसको याद नहीं रखना है. आई हैव जस्ट पुट दी वैल्यूज, इधर उधर की ई की वैल्यू निकाली मैंने वेरिएबल के टर्म्स में. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज सो लुकिंग सो बैड. इतनी गंदी इसलिए लग रही है, मैंने सिर्फ 2 बार रिफ्रैक्शन करा के ई की वैल्यू निकाली है. थैंक यू फॉर द एडवाइस खुशी. ओके, सो डेल्टा इज दिस इन टर्म्स ऑफ आई. कैन यू ड्रॉ द ग्राफ ऑफ दिस? क्या हम इसका ग्राफ बना सकते हैं? अरे रुक जाओ यार, प्रीवियस स्लाइड. अजीब लोग हो, जो बोल रहा हूं उस पर ध्यान ही नहीं है. पिछली स्लाइड छापना है हमको. कैन आई ड्रॉ द ग्राफ ऑफ दिस? whatever I try to do, you people are those school students only, जो स्कूल में नहीं होते थे, बस छाप लें हम, फटाफट छाप लें बस. Never trying to get anything. So if I try to draw the plot of delta versus I, can I draw this graph? How many people can draw this graph? तो this is, मैंने ये सब क्यों बताया आपको? Just to say that we cannot draw this graph. Okay, I derived so much. All those who can, they are great. Okay, I cannot draw the graph. Okay, you have to remember it. Just to prove this point, I derived so much that you cannot draw the graph. You have to remember it. आपको याद ही रखना होगा. The graph comes out to be something like this. मैं काफी अच्छी चीजें बताऊंगा अगर आप थोड़ा सा वेट करें तो. Yes, this derivation was only for joy. This derivation was purely time pass. You don't have to remember it. Do not memorize. Okay, time pass beta, time pass. just to prove the point that we have to remember the graph, we cannot draw it. और ग्राफ कुछ ऐसा आता है. Is this a parabola? अरे is this a parabola? अरे बोलिए क्या ये पैराबोला है? No, it is not a parabola. It looks like a parabola, but it is not a parabola. Okay. And the minimum value of deviation, when will it come? The minimum value of deviation, when will it come? It comes at I is equal to E. This is what you have to remember from the graph. When angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence, deviation through the prism is minimum. Deviation through prism is minimum. अरे समझ आया क्या? This is all you had to remember. When I is equal to E, deviation through prism will be minimum. अरे is it clear? बताइए. So now what is important? What you have to remember? Let me tell you that. Okay, this is not important. Important is to calculate minimum deviation through a prism. Minimum deviation through a prism. Okay. So the minimum deviation through a prism, we know the formula for deviation is I plus E minus A. When will deviation be minimum? When will deviation be minimum? कौन बताएगा? When will deviation be minimum? अरे कब होगा? Yes, Ananya, you have to remember graph and this condition. Only two things you have to remember from all the kachra that I told you. One is graph and one is the condition of minimum deviation. It is I should be equal to E. Okay. So basically minimum deviation I can say it is I and E should be equal to I. So delta minimum I can say is equal to 2I minus A. If you know the angle of incidence, you don't have to calculate the angle of emergence. You can directly tell me what is the minimum deviation. This is a very important formula. Remember it. Yes, you can say 2I minus A or 2E minus A also. Or 2E minus A also because both are same. Okay. Question. I will give you question on this in form of quiz. Please copy it. Minimum deviation happens when I is equal to A and minimum deviation is equal to 2I minus A. चमक गया? अनविजिबल हो गया क्या मोहक जी? अनविजिबल फॉर मोहक. अरे बोलिए फटाफट. Can you remember this? You don't have to calculate E. You can directly find the deviation if they are asking the minimum deviation. छाप लिया? Okay. Final thing that I will tell you before we do some questions. कृपया रिपीट वाला. धन्यवाद मोहित जी. मुझे लगा आप कह रहे हैं रिपीट कर दीजिए. Okay. So the final thing that you have to remember is a relation between mu of lens and delta minimum, which is minimum deviation. This relation is important because this can be used to find the refractive index of your prism. So this is your prism, this is A, and this is I. Okay. If I say that minimum deviation is going on, if I say that I is equal to E, can I say that delta will be minimum? अरे बोलो हाँ. If I say I is equal to E, delta will be minimum. अरे हाँ, क्यों नहीं होगा? बिल्कुल होगा. If I is equal to E, can I say R1 will be equal to R2? अरे बोलो हाँ. If I is equal to E, तो R1 will be equal to R2. and it will be a by 2. अरे बोलो हाँ. Why? Because R1 plus R2 is a. भगवान ने बताया था. Do not forget. गीता का सुवचन है ये. R1 is equal to R2 is equal to a by 2. अरे बोलिए हाँ. Can I apply Snell's law on this surface? Yes, why not? What is the issue? I will simply write if mu of the surrounding is mu s, I write mu s is mu of surrounding. Okay. Refractive index. अरे अब मत बोलो हाँ. Index of surrounding. I'm not asking you to. So can I apply Snell's law on this surface? अरे हाँ. I will say mu s into sin I is equal to mu L. Mu L I am saying is the refractive index of lens. Sorry, prism. Mu P लेते हैं ना तो. Let us take mu P. Mu P is refractive index of prism. Variable है, assume कर रहे हैं. Mu P sin R1. Can I say this? अरे बोलो people. अरे people just say it. So can I say mu of prism by mu of surrounding? This should be equal to sine of I by sine of R1. Just wait with me. Hold your hand and I will move on to next slide because slide is over. I will write this again. Index of index. अरे कालिदास जी आप भी मतलब रिफ्रैक्टिव इंडेक्स ऑफ इंडेक्स बोलो ना. ऑफ प्रिज्म. Prism. Okay. Thank you. So what I did mu p by mu s is a sine I by sine R1. अरे Snell's law. अरे Snell's law. Now for delta minimum, what is the formula? 2i minus a. So can I say I is a plus delta minimum by 2? अरे हाँ क्या कर दिया. क्रॉस basically मैथ्स ही तो चल रही है. So can I say this will be sine of I is a plus delta minimum by 2 upon, we already know R1 is equal to R2 is equal to a by 2. अरे बोलिए हाँ. Do you remember this formula from your book? आपने देखा होगा this सुंदर सा formula in your book, which is the relation between delta minimum and refrac. अरे बस इतना हाँ भी नहीं चाहिए था. delta minimum and refractive index. अरे बोलिए कोई डाउट. Any doubt in this? बस. अरे बस. Okay, done. Copy it. छापो. Copy it. Previous slide, yes. उसको भी आप छाप सकते हैं. This is important. Okay, they can ask this derivation. This is simple also. One Snell's law we have to use. Sorry. Okay. ये क्या है हाथ में? ये है हल्क मेरे भाई. हल्क. आप हल्क को नहीं जानते? I think you have not seen Avengers. हल्क मेरे भाई. हल्क. Yes, I play with toys. Okay. What will happen if your prism is thin? What is the meaning of thin prism? So this is a very small heading. It is thin prism deviation. Suppose you have a prism, but it is thin, not like me. It is thin. So the A is small. A is small. And generally we say less than 10 degree. If it is so thin that it is less than 10 degree, then simply what we can say, all angles will be small. ध्यान से देखना फटाफट. Look at me carefully. This is I, this is R1, this is R2, and this is E. And A is small. So I can say all angles are small. All angles are small. And for small angles, sin theta is equal to theta. अरे ये कितने लोगों को पता है? Do you know this? Sin theta is equal to theta for small theta. So on first surface, when I write, this is 1, this is mu. When I write 1 sin I is equal to mu sin R1, can I say this is mu R1? अगर नहीं पता तो बेटा सीख जाओ. You are now in class 12th. This is high time that you remember this. Okay. Yes, thin is malnutrition. And can I say mu sin R2 is equal to 1 sin E, or I can say mu R2 is equal to E? अरे बस साइन हटाना है सर, बस साइन हटाना है. सो I is equal to mu R1. अरे can you remember this? For small theta, sin theta is theta. अरे 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 बोलिए. Did you guys get the audio? आवाज आई? मुझे आवाज नहीं आई यार. ओके चलो. So what will be delta? जल्दी से. I plus E minus A. So I can say this is I is mu R1 plus E is mu R2 minus A. So this is mu R1 plus R2, which is also A minus A. So delta for thin prism is mu minus 1 into A. इसका फॉर्मूला बहुत छोटा और आसान है, याद रखें प्लीज. For thin prism, this is the derivation. Deviation is very, very small, which is mu minus 1 into A. Whenever light is incident on it, you don't need I, you don't need R1, you don't need E. For thin prism, remember this condition, A should be less than 10 degree. For thin prism, deviation can be calculated simply by the formula this. Not for thick prism. मोटा होगा तो नहीं चलेगा, मोटे का नहीं चलता. Okay. Please copy it, everyone. Copy it. Okay, now mark your answer. The quiz is in front of you. The angle of minimum deviation for a prism is 40 degree and the angle of prism is 60 degree. The angle of incident in this position is, they have given you minimum deviation angle, prism angle, they are asking the incidence angle. Now apply the formula. I'll give you 1 minute. Correct. 57%, that is an okay score. We will take stars. Okay. So formula you had to use is delta minimum is equal to 2I minus A. This is given 40 degree. This will be 2I minus A is 60 degree and I you will get is 50 degree. Any doubts in this? That is why I tell you to copy the formulas properly. Arey boliye. Any doubts in this? Bolo, 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 bolo. What happened to Ria Garg? I know that is, I don't know, that is a mysterious question. Okay, nothing happened. Okay, अगला सवाल. When light ray is incident at an angle of 45 degree, the minimum deviation is obtained. Okay. The refractive index of the material is √2. The angle of prism is, they are asking you what is the angle of prism. When light is incident at 45 degree, minimum deviation is obtained. Refractive index is also given. Think about it, everyone. 33% only. Now this is a poor performance. So no stars, obviously. So the formula you had to use is mu lens by mu surrounding. It is sin I by sin R1 or you can say sine A plus delta minimum by 2 by sine A by 2. So what do we use? Mu of lens is root 2, surrounding is 1. Angle of incidence is 45 degrees, so put it here. So sine 45 degree upon, put in the denominator sine A by 2. This will become 1 by root 2 into sine A by 2. And you will get sine A by 2, it is 1 by 2. Or you can say A by 2, it is 30 degree. Or you can say A is 60 degree. So answer is D. अरे समझ आया क्या? I know it was a bit tricky because you had to use this and in denominator you had to use this. थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ हो गई है कि नहीं? So it was a good question. Those who did it, that is good. Any doubts? Any doubts? चलिए. So basically what we have seen mostly about prism. How is deviation calculated for a thick prism? How is deviation calculated for a thin prism? And dispersion is left, so that we will cover in another class. I will ask ma'am to reschedule the next session for ray optics only. Okay, so the next section will also be on ray optics and we will cover this and optical instruments. Okay. 30 डिग्री पे छोड़ दिया, बीच में मत छोड़ा करो, ऑलवेज कंप्लीट इट.